Hey guys, welcome to Footy Luke episode 4. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing something a little different. Today, I'm going to be going down through my season predictions and how I think the Premier League will end at the end of the 2015-16 season. We all know this season has been a roller coaster ride for many teams. We have shock performances by Leicester at the top of the table, and Chelsea is down low. Now, many wouldn't have predicted what would happen at the beginning of this season, but as the season begins to wind down, things are looking a little bit more clear. So without further ado, let me get into my predictions for how the season will end. This may seem as a shock, but I think that Tottenham Hotspurs will win the Premier League. Throughout 26 games played, they've won 14, drawn 9, and only lost 3. They've scored 47 goals and only conceded 20. They have a goal differential of 27, making them the best in the league. They're a really well-built team with a lot of depth, from youngsters like Dele Alli and experienced veterans like Harry Kane and Moussa Dembele. They're really leading the line for Tottenham, and I believe that they're going to be the winning team in the Premier League for the 2015-16 season. Right now, they're sitting with 51 points, 2 points behind Leicester for top of the table. In second place this year, I think it's going to be Arsenal. Arsenal this season have played 26 games, won 15, drawn 6, and lost 5. Now, I think the lost 5 is going to be critical to them finishing second. They're able to give up a lot of goals and have a pretty low goal differential compared to Tottenham. This year, they've scored 41 goals and conceded 23. That leaves them with a goal differential of 18. Now, the goal differential is a big factor in setting apart Arsenal from Tottenham. I think that they're going to finish 2 points behind Tottenham for the top spot. Now, in third place, I think it's going to be Leicester City. Leicester City has had a phenomenal season, and their great players are starting to shine through. Depth is starting to be created with new signings, but I think it's a little too early for the development of the team to finish first in the Prem. I think they're going to sit comfortably in third and are going to snag a Champions League spot for the 2016-17 season. So for this year, Leicester has won 15, drawn 8, and lost 3. They scored a bounty of goals, but have also conceded a lot more than other of the title contending teams. They have a goal differential of 19, which is okay for a team that has improved so much from last year. Currently, they're sitting on top with 53 points. Now, in fourth place this year, I think it's going to be Manchester City. There's really not many teams that are contending for that top 4 spot other than Man U. And I think that Manchester City is going to do everything they can to try to get a Champions League spot. They've won 14, drawn 5, and lost 7. They scored 48 goals, conceded 28, and have a goal differential of 20. Right now they're sitting with 47 points and 4th in the Premier League table. Now I think that's a pretty good statistic for a team that's going to finish in a Champions League spot. Now I'm going to go quickly through the middle of the table before we get to relegation. In 5th place, I think it's going to be Manchester United. I think they're doing everything they can to try to get a Europa League spot, and they're going to be pressuring City for that 4th place Champions League spot. In 6th, I think it's going to be West Ham. With the return of Dimitri Payet, they're having a lot more depth and are finding great runs by Enner Valencia in the box. The strikers are starting to show, and the manager is starting to push this team forward, and I think a Europa League spot may happen. 7th, I think it's going to be Liverpool. Liverpool is starting to find their form again and are rising through the Premier League table. Jurgen Klopp is finally starting to find what works for the club, and they're starting to push forward. In 8th, I think it's going to be Southampton. Although they are in 6th now, I think they're going to drop because the team is very shaky and inconsistent. In 9th place this year, I think it's going to be Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea is still undefeated in Premier League competition under Gus Hiddink. They're starting to really find their form, and their goal differential is starting to improve. At one point this season, they were negative 14. Now they've risen to 2. Now they're sitting on 33 points, but I think a 9th place spot might happen. In 10th, I think it's going to be Stoke City, because although they had a strong beginning, I think the consistency isn't there, and 10th probably will beat them. 11th, I think Everton, which is about the place they're right now. In 12th, I think it's going to be Crystal Palace. 14th, West Bromwich Albion. 15th, Bournemouth. I think they're going to escape the drop because they're a solid side with new signings from Benik Afobe, who's going to bring a lot of depth to the strike force for Bournemouth. I think in 16th is going to be Swansea City. Under their new manager, they're starting to really find their feet. Their goal differential is improving, and they're starting to pick up points. In 17th, I think it's going to be Newcastle. Although Newcastle has had a few shaky games in that pounding by Chelsea 5-1, they've had a few consistent wins and have shown that they can compete in the Premier League. Now for my relegation picks, I think in 18th place it's going to be Norwich City. I don't think Norwich is going to be able to escape the drop because their depth isn't there. They have too many veterans and not many young, fresh talents, and I think it's going to be difficult for them to escape and survive another Premier League season. In 19th, I think it's going to be Sunderland. Sunderland has lost their great keeper, Costa Pantelimon, and are going to be lacking in the defensive side of their team. And I think many will assume this. In 20th place, I think it's going to be Aston Villa. Aston Villa has had a horrible season. They've only managed to win 3, they've drawn 7, and they've lost 16. They've only scored 20 goals combined. That's 15 less than Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy have scored themselves. They've conceded 46 and have a goal differential of negative 26. I think Aston Villa is going down, and that's something we can't doubt. Now, if you enjoyed my picks, let me know in the comments, and let me know how you think the Premier League is going to finish this season. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and you want more podcasts like this. And make sure you let me know how you think this season's going to end. Those are my picks. I'm Footy Luke, and that was my Premier League 2015-16 season prediction. Footy Luke, over and out.